This is the approach to Celynnin Church. We have to approach it going over the stile, and it's set right on the top above Conwy, and there's nothing here except birds and sheep. This is one of the tracks that leads up to the church. There are many tracks that come up to the church from all different directions from around the hill. Way over there's a beautiful bluebell field. The church is surrounded by a 5-foot, 6-foot stone wall that would have been built entirely by hand. All you can hear is the bleating sound of the sheep. This is the source of the spring that actually leads down into the churchyard. Here we are, entering the churchyard. Who knows how old this gate is? In the corner of the churchyard here is St. Celynnin's Holy Well, reputed to be established by the 6th century Celtic saint. Today it's just a murky pond, but back then it was used to predict whether a sick child would recover or not. That's interesting. The remains of this well house are still used by walkers as a place to rest. Now we're going to approach the church. Notice the very old oak beams. We can only enter through these very old oak gates into the portico. The services are held on the 3rd Sundays in May, July and September, and unfortunately it's closed for us today. If you can look behind this locked gate, you can see what I assume is the original oak door entering the church. And on this side there's a little lookout. Presumably you could see who was coming up to the service that day, because it looks directly at the gate that we came in. Here's one of the oldest graves that we found, and it reads, "Here lieth the body of the Reverend Falk Griffith, the curator of this parish, who was interred in the 30th, can't read that, 1745, aged 42. This is the gable end of the church, and right up the top you can see the bell tower that would have been rung across the hills to bring the congregation to prayer. This is the northwest side of the church, and you can notice that this is the side where the prevailing winds come from. Look at the way that the tree has grown. This looks to be more of a recent grave, and it is the grave of William Watts Jones of Glyn, Duke of Olche. He was born in 1834. He died in 1905. Also his wife Hannah. And the quotation here says, "And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance." The churchyard has a lot of old graves, some that you can plainly see, but others that have long been hidden by the tufts of grass.
You can do it.
This seems to be the most recent grave here, and sadly of a young man who died at age 30 years old. As the sun goes down, we go back down the churchyard path back to the old gate, and we leave Celynnin Church in total peace. And here we are, trudging along one of the narrow tracks that's completely surrounded by the stone walls. We want to know what's on the other side of the hill. And there's the church in the distance, and now we're going to do a panoramic view of the headland. Way over there we can see the Conway River with the little hamlet of Glan Conway, and we follow the course of the river up. High up in the valley directly across we see Eglwys, and then the river carries on up towards Llanrwst. And with a beautiful carpet of bluebells all around us. This track past the church is a part of the North Wales Pilgrim's Way. Here on the hill there's an ancient hawthorn bush, and there's a very, very old Welsh saying don't take your vest off until the hawthorn flowers have faded. So it looks as if we're going to wear our vest for a little bit longer.